What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another video here on Guns and Stuff. My name is Connor, and in this video I'm going to be doing part 2 of the 1917 versus 1903 video that I started. It wasn't supposed to be a two-part video, but my 1903, when I was on the range, started having malfunctions. I've since gotten that fixed, and as of now I'm hoping it goes good when I start rolling, but it's working great. So pretty much the portion that this failed at, I was doing a few more, faster drills with these rifles just to get a score to see on paper which rifle I shoot better with. So the first drill I was doing, it's pretty simple. I stand stationary. There's a target at 50 yards. It is a full-sized pink target, which you'll see. And what I was doing on the buzzer, up, take 3 shots, reload, and then 3 more shots, and then getting a score. So there's 60 possible points for each run. I did 3 runs. So let me go over those stats with you real quick, and then we'll get to shooting. So the first run was 34 out of 60 points, which is not very good. That was at 25.7 seconds. The second run was 53 out of 60 points, and that was at 23.8 seconds. And then the final run was 56 out of 60 points, and that was at 20.1 seconds. So that last run was much better than the first 2. I'm going to go ahead and do that same exact drill with the 1903. The second drill you're going to see is a little bit more, involved. So on a buzzer, I run to the rifle, take 3 shots, put it on safe, run to the other side of the range, take 3 more shots. I do have to do a reload in between that, and then run to the other side of the range again and take 2 more shots. So that's 8 shots total, 80 points per run. A possible 80 points per run, and I did 3 of those as well. So the first run was 72 out of 80 points at 52.9 seconds. Second run was 67 out of 80 at 58.9 seconds. And then the third and final run with the 1917 was 62 out of 80 points, and that was at 52 seconds. So I'll put those in the description so you can look, and I'll put them on the video. But just to give you guys an idea of how I did with the 1917, let's stop talking and go ahead and do those same exact drills with the 1903 and see how it goes. Alright, so that was not too bad. It was a little sloppy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ignore that. So it was first run 50 out of 60 points at 23.4 seconds. Let's do it again. That was bad. That just felt bad. Alright, so take 2. 9, 8, 2 here, and we have 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The black ones are already obviously from the last run, but that's 52 out of 60 points at 22.5 seconds. So that's my best run with this rifle yet. Third run. Okay, so the third run was my absolute worst. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a miss. What? 41 out of 60 at 24.2 seconds. So we had a miss. Fresh one there. Here, both of those. And then 2 here. So there's all 3 of my scores. That was my worst one. Alright guys, so here's the results. This is 1903, as you can see here. This is 1917. I cannot make this up. You guys just saw what I did. Got the same percentage of hits. So we got the same points average out of both of these 3. There's it in 47.6. So the total of those points divided by 3, and then just got the percentage. So the percentage is the same for the 1917. Percentage is the same for the 1903. The only difference is that. So with the 1903, on average, it took me 0.1 seconds longer to do that drill successfully. Those are the points, and we haven't done the second drill yet. But guys, look at that. I mean, almost identical numbers. Unless I'm doing my math wrong somewhere, but almost identical numbers. That's crazy. I thought it would have been one way over the other, so that is definitely surprising. Let's move on to the next drill. Very slippery out here. Okay, so the first of that drill with the 1903. There's my shot. So I don't know what happened to my shot timer, but when I got done, I looked down and it read 10 seconds, so that's obviously not right. I went back and looked at the footage and kind of counted it up as best as I could. It was about 57.5 seconds. Score of 72 out of 80. First run with the 1903. Not bad. I'll take it. Alright, so that run felt a little sloppy. How I've been doing this is if half of the hit is on a certain, like that's a 9 to me, and I'm just doing this off my judgment. So that is a miss because more than half of it is in the white. So a little group of 9s right there, a couple 9s, and a 6. And obviously all the ones that are black were last run. That was 60 points out of 60 points out of 80 possible points at 53.5 seconds. So let's go do the final run and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so that run wasn't very good. We'll talk about that in a second. I did have one miss. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That time was really bad. I'll talk about that in a sec. 65 out of 80 at 63.4 seconds. All right, let's go conclude this beast of a video. 1917, there's what you need to know. I like proficiency of percentages more than average points, so 83.7% proficiency at 54.6 seconds. Let's move over here to the 1903. Average points was close. You got 67, which is right here, and then 65. 82% versus 83.7, so 1917 wins there, but the big one here is time. So 54.6 to 58.1. So that second run, the 1917 wins, not by a lot. I mean, regarding time, it wins by, that's almost 4 seconds, so that's a lot of time. But with average points and percentages, it's not whooping it. So let's conclude this video. Alright guys, so before we conclude, I just want to say that video was very fun to make. It was fun taking these rifles out, running around with them, and just kind of seeing which one I like better. I do want to talk about that very last run with the 1903. 65 points out of 80 at 63.4 seconds. So I don't know why. I didn't even consciously do it, but I think it was the first or second run. You'll notice when I'm cycling the action, I'm doing it with my left hand, so I'm shooting and then coming up and over. With the 1917, I believe I always did it with my right hand. So I don't know why I did that. Being a lefty, as you guys know, well, maybe most of you don't know, but it's just kind of weird running these guns as a lefty. I'm not sure why I went to my left hand. Then on the last run, I went back to my right hand. I don't know why. And also on the second and third run, after the second round, the bolt was sticking. Like I went to unlock it and it didn't go, and I kind of had to force it. So that's going to slow me down. Also, the snow out here is very slippery. On the first day, it was still pretty slippery, but you got to remember it was muddy and rainy. So when it came to actually running and getting traction, I felt like today I definitely had a disadvantage. So notice how my times on the first drill were nearly identical, but as soon as I start moving, I lose time. So I'm gonna say that's because of the snow and the conditions. Also, that the bolt sticking issue, and also on the last run, I went to go load my stripper clip and only had 4 rounds in it. So when I was running over there, one of them popped off the clip. So I had to find that one in my pouch and load it. So that's going to hurt my time as well. The 500-yard range, I was very surprised. Now you have to remember, I was shooting in the fog. It was like really, really foggy. I don't know really how to describe it, but it was really foggy. And the mini, very small peep sight on the 1903 was not my friend at all. I flipped the ladder up on the 1917, put it at 500. It took me about 3 or 4 shots to get on target, but once I got on, I was on the steel, no problem. This one I was a little bit more inconsistent at 500 yards. I want to kind of like, I'm doing this on these days, not necessarily on purpose, but I kind of like how the conditions aren't perfect. You got to remember, you're not always going to be shooting in perfect conditions. You're not always going to be standing, unless you only do that. I like to get out, but you're not always going to be standing on a static range on a nice sunny day. So I liked the fog. I like the snow. I like the cold, especially when you're running around with these old war guns. So yeah, so the 500-yard range, the 1917 won. I got 6 out of 10 hits versus 2 out of 10 with the 1903. I might try that in the future on a more sunny day. The first drill was nearly a tie, guys, nearly a tie. Percentage was the same. The percentage of proficiency was the same, 79.4. The 1903 was slower by 0.1 second on average. So let me actually, there were some runs faster on the 1903 and other runs faster on the 1917. So first drill was nearly a draw. Second one, again, where I was doing a little bit of running around, I'm going to blame some of that on the snow. A little bit more slippery, a little bit harder to get up and get moving quick. And also with the 1903, not sure why, but the bolt was sticking a little bit. With the 1917, I honestly had no issues. I had nothing. I even had a little bit of mud in the action when I was running it the first time, but I had no, the bolt was sticking. I had no issues cycling it. It was great. It ran like awesome. Yeah, guys, this was a super fun video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more stuff like this, please let me know. But just of my hits and my times and everything like that, my personal pick would be the 1917 Enfield over the 1903. Now, I'm not, I appreciate both of these guns. I'm not saying the 1903 is a piece of crap just because of what one dude did on a range on 2 separate days. So take it with a grain of salt. I definitely like shooting both of these. The one thing about this is it's bigger and longer and heavier. So, I mean, I know I'm never going to be fighting in a trench, but you got to put yourself back 100 years. This is a little bit longer and heavier to be running around in a trench, or, World War I wasn't all trench warfare like some like to think. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is lighter and it has its advantages, but just of the time and score, again, I would pick the 1917. This is my winner. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up. Leave your comments, any thoughts you have. Connor with Guns and Stuff. We will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.